Set to Love, Chapter 5, a Miraculous Ladybug fanfiction series written, voiced, and thumbnail drawn by me, EB If you haven't heard the first 4 chapters to this series, make sure to go check out the description box below or the playlist linked on my channel. I did mention on the community tab that I really wanted to do a London special one-shot, which I was going to upload today instead of this chapter. I think I'll hold off because I want to make it good and it's quite a long one-shot, so I'm thinking I'm going to upload it on Monday instead. So look out for that. And please enjoy Set to Love, Chapter 5. The flight touched down at 6 o'clock in the evening, and after going through immigration and finding her luggage, Marinette located Luka. While the cruise minibus delivered their luggage to the accommodation, Luka downloaded WeChat and ordered a Didi Premier, which took them straight to the Thousand Delights restaurant. Would have Marinette rathered to have a shower first after that 12-hour flight? Yes, but because their call time was 7 the next morning, their evening would be rushed enough as it is. So, this is your great uncle's place? Luka placed his hand on her shoulder, leading her to the entrance. Marinette had her maman call ahead yesterday to tell Wang Cheng of their arrival. If he had been notified earlier, he would have closed down the restaurant to host the two personally. But now all he could offer was a last-minute reservation. He also insisted that Marinette must come to visit another night when the restaurant was not so busy. Yeah, it's definitely busy today. We might not catch Uncle Wang tete-a-tete today, but the food will be amazing, Marinette replied with a smile, trying to maintain a positive attitude despite the jet lag. I bet, I can smell it from out here. But tete-a-tete isn't quite right if it's the 3 of us, Luka pointed out, enthusiastic as the aroma of delicious food wafted from the restaurant. You know what I mean, Monsieur French Mick Jagger. 3's a crowd, unless we're starting a band, Marinette quipped back as Luka held the door open for her. Seated at the table, Wang Cheng had already organised a special set menu for them. There were 5 dishes: a dim sum platter, crab stew, black truffle roast duck, Cantonese-style pigeon with pigeon egg, and egg custard nest. So, definitely too much food for the 2 of them. Marinette chuckled as she glanced over the collection of dishes, realising they might need to take some leftovers back to the hotel. As a Parisian, I can't believe I'm eating pigeon right now, Luka remarked, a mixture of surprise and delight. And it's good, he added, clearly impressed by the dish. Marinette picked up another piece, nodding in agreement. I know, right? It's like chicken, but a bit softer. Who knew the rats of the skies would taste so good? Mr. Pigeon would throw a fit, she joked, impressed by the 5 spice and texture as she easily chewed through it. Luka took another sip of his stew, contemplating Marinette's words. Hopefully not nowadays. There has been an Akuma in the past 3 years, right? He asked, referring to the lack of supervillain attacks in recent times. That's right, Marinette confirmed with a nod. It's been quiet. Reflecting on the peace that had settled over the city in recent years, it was good for her, less stress in her life, and it allowed her to dedicate more time to herself instead of constantly having to save the city. Good, Ladybug and Cat Noir deserve a break, with everything they've done, Luka said. But let's talk about you. How have you been? He asked, shifting the conversation focus on Marinette. Getting by. I did my fashion degree about a year and a half ago, and spent a year in New York. The place I did a 2-month internship for offered me a place on contract, but they decided not to renew after 10 months. Something about it not being in the budget to put me on permanently or something, so I came back to Paris, Marinette recalled with a hint of disappointment. She was finally making a name for herself, only for it to be taken away from her as she was forced back to Paris with no connections. It was so disheartening and frustrating, Marinette admitted. How did you end up in film production then? Luka questioned, offering her the last dim sum. He's so thoughtful and considerate. Marinette declined politely with a smile and shrugged. The same way you did, a friend asking me for a favour. You remember Nino? Turns out he's close with Monsieur Agreste, and they needed to expand the art department, so here I am. Well, I'm happy you're here, and that you agreed to this date. Luka smiled warmly at her, genuine and content. I'm happy too, and because we'll both be stuck here for the next few months, we could maybe catch up again? Marinette suggested. She was excited at the prospect of spending more time with Luka, so it's better to be straightforward about it, right? Like something less impromptu and when you're less sleep deprived. Luka basically read her mind, prompting Marinette to wonder, how did he do that? I get it. I guess I got a bit too excited. He admitted with a sheepish smile, recognizing his eagerness. No, it's okay. I enjoy being with you, Marinette said warmly, reassuring Luka with a smile. No matter the circumstances. As always, the conversation with Luka flowed so easily. But unfortunately, so did the time. Exiting the restaurant at around 10 o'clock, they decided to go for a second round at a tea house on the same street and sipped on Angie white tea until 12. Great! Marinette was going to be so sleep deprived tomorrow. Hopefully her youth of no sleep thanks to late night Akuma attacks would prepare her, right? Eventually, at 1 o'clock in the morning, they arrived at the accommodation, which turned out to be a large upscale hotel with the 13th and 14th floors completely blocked out for the crew, all given access to the executive lounge, to be used for meetings and such. Apparently they'll be moving to various types of accommodations and districts over the next half year, but this was not a bad start. This Agreste guy must be made of money, and Marinette was not complaining. She was not expecting it to be this flash. With their luggage collected from the luggage hold, Luka walked her to a room. Here, take this, he said, holding her hand and putting something in her palm. A guitar pick? Jagged stone? These are... Luka finished her sentence. The same ones I gave you 9 years ago when we first met? Yes. Why? She asked, confused. Luka smiled, looking away. Well, it's the only guitar pick I have with me, so I'm going to need it back before I head to the studio tomorrow after lunch. So it's the lunch date? Marinette assumed, hoping she was right. Yeah, that'll be great, Luka answered. See you tomorrow? Yeah, see you tomorrow. She smiled, wrapping her arms around his torso for a hug. Good night, Luka. Good night, Marinette. Sitting down on her bed, Marinette took to Instagram to inform Alya that she was okay and to show off the Art Deco-inspired room. She knew Alya would be jealous. Then, after setting multiple alarms to try and manage her jet lag, Marinette headed off to sleep, prepared for her first day on set tomorrow. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed Set to Love Chapter 5. The next chapter, Chapter 6, will be coming out this time next Friday. And on Monday, that will be the London one-shot that will be coming out. So subscribe, notifications, so you know when all that's happening. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye!